They say the moon over China remembers everything. The poets who worshipped it, the lovers who swore beneath it, and the rebels who whispered its name before rising in the dark. On the 15th night of the 8th month, the world turned silver. Lanterns swayed in doorways. Families laid out wine, fruit, and small round cakes, offerings to the moon above, each one stamped in red, sweet with nuts and lard, and warm from the hearth. But that year the cakes carried more than sweetness. Hidden within their crust, it was said, were words, not prayers, but orders, lines that told men when to stand and when to strike. No one knows if the messages were ever there. The empire that feared them is long gone, yet every autumn the cakes return, soft, fragrant, unchanged. People still break them open beneath the same moon, tasting a story that outlived an empire. This is the legend of the mooncakes and the secret they were said to hold. Long before any message was hidden in pastry, the people of China watched the moon to measure time itself. In the Warring States period, more than 2,000 years ago, the moon was thought to govern cold and harvest, while the sun ruled heat and growth. Each season was a negotiation between them, a balance that emperors were sworn to protect. To secure good fortune, the ruler made offerings to the moon. Wine poured into silver bowls, fruit polished until it glowed, and cakes round as the moon's own face. By the 10th century, under Emperor Taizong of the Northern Song, the offering had become a national ritual. On the 15th day of the 8th lunar month, families everywhere looked up together. Lanterns drifted like slow constellations, and tables filled with roast duck, tea, and the mooncakes of Shandong and Canton. Each cake bore a mark in red, a single character for harmony, blessing, or longevity. Children believed the color bound to the moon. Elders said it bound them to memory. Through dynasties and storms, the festival endured as a celebration of reunion. Even when the empire fractured, the night of the full moon still gathered the scattered, a moment when heaven and home were the same bright circle in the sky. Every festival keeps a story, and this one begins not on earth but in the heavens. They tell of the Jade Emperor, Lord of the Skies, and his 10 sons, 10 suns whose light scorched the earth. To save the world, the archer Hui drew his bow and shot down 9, leaving only 1 to warn the days. The emperor's grief was boundless. He banished Hui and his wife Chang'e to live as mortals. In exile, Hui sought the Queen Mother of the West, keeper of the peaches of immortality. She offered him a single vial, enough for 2 souls to share eternal life, but never to return to heaven. When he brought it home, Chang'e drank it alone. She rose into the night, weightless, sorrowful, and settled upon the moon. There, they say, she keeps company with a white rabbit, pounding herbs for immortality that will never come. Below, Hui lit candles and laid her favorite foods, fruits, wine, and round cakes sweetened with lard and sugar, a table for a love he could no longer reach. Each year he looked up and shared his meal with the moon. And so the living copied him. They offered the same cakes, believing the moonlight carried love and memory between worlds. Long after the names of emperors faded, the story of Chang'e and Hui remained, a reminder that some devotions outlive even time itself. By the 14th century, another empire watched the moon, but in fear, not reverence. For nearly 100 years, China had been ruled by outsiders, the Mongol Yuan dynasty. Suspicious of revolt, they forbade the people from gathering in large numbers, especially during the festivals that bound them together. Yet hunger for freedom finds strange disguises. Among the poor rose a monk-turned-soldier named Zhu Zhuangzhang, guided by a strategist called Liu Baowen. They planned to rise against the Mongols, but needed a way to spread orders without attracting guards. The story says they turned to the bakeries. During the Mid-Autumn Festival, when millions of mooncakes were baked and shared, messages slipped quietly between flour and filling, small scrolls of rice paper hidden under crust. Each note carried a call: when the moon is full, strike together. On that night, torches flared from village to village. By dawn, the Mongol garrisons were overwhelmed. The Yuan throne fell, and Zhu Zhuangzhang became the Hongwu emperor, founder of the Ming dynasty. Every name in the tale is real, and the rebellion did sweep the Mongols away. But no record from the time mentions cakes or messages. Historians find no trace of flour-stained orders, only the legend that grew in their place. Still, it is easy to see why people believed it. The mooncake was already a symbol of unity, and rebellion needs symbols more than weapons. Whether or not a single message hid inside a pastry, the story itself became one, passed from mouth to mouth, generation to generation, until it no longer mattered what was true. Under the Ming and the Qing, families still pressed red stamps into dough, but now the marks spoke of peace, not uprising. Longevity, harmony, blessing. The same words once whispered in secret, now baked proudly on every table. Centuries later, the festival still returns each autumn. Shops glow with paper lanterns. Children trade mooncakes stamped with characters they can barely read. Some carry modern flavors, coffee, chocolate, but inside the gesture remains ancient. The cakes no longer hide rebellion, they hide remembrance, a rebellion of forgetting, a way to keep the past sweet enough to swallow. And somewhere, above the streets and electric lights, the moon still keeps its watch, bright, patient, unchanged. Empires rise and fall, recipes change, rulers vanish, but the gesture of offering endures. A cake shared with family, a glance upward toward the same silent witness. What was once a call to arms became a call to remember. Perhaps that is why the story survives, not because it happened, but because it could have happened. Each autumn, when the first mooncake is cut, someone, somewhere, still looks up and wonders what else might be hidden inside. The message may be gone, but the memory, like the moon, never truly fades.